Now in Afghanistan, two election campaigners working for the presidential candidate and former foreign minister Abdullah Abdullah have been shot dead. Abdullah's aides were killed in Herat province on the eve of the start of the election campaign. It is seen as a major test for local security forces as foreign troops prepare to leave. Campaigning for Afghanistan's presidential election officially begins later on Sunday. Let's speak now to Jane Ferguson, who's live for us in Kabul. And Jane, security has always been an issue in Afghanistan, and this election campaign will be no exception.
That's right, Hazem. Of course, the government here are very much so aware of the fact that not only are these elections potentially threatened by any kind of political violence as well as corruption, but that the main challenge to these elections in terms of security will be the Taliban. They have said they will attack anybody who is having anything to do with these elections. They're going to target anything from polling stations to those who are campaigning. Now, the two campaign aides for Dr. Abdullah, who you mentioned, who were gunned down in Herat last night, were of course working for a major contender. Dr. Abdullah was a major contender who went up against President Karzai in 2009. It's not clear who was responsible for that attack. No one has claimed responsibility yet. It could be political violence as opposed to a Taliban attack, but it's a reminder the night before campaigning officially started here that there will be security challenges across the country, especially considering that that attack took place in Herat city, which is considered to be relatively safe in Afghanistan by the standards across the country here. But nonetheless, that has not stopped this crucial date coming to a head here, with campaigns kick-started today for all 11 of the candidates across the city. There are posters going up across the city. They're not allowed to put them up. They weren't allowed to put them up until today, when they start their 2 months of campaigning before the crucial elections on April 5th. Now, Al Jazeera have followed some of the campaigns and have really had a look at how some of the candidates are planning to attract voters.
11 men in Afghanistan are getting ready to sell themselves to the public. Soon their faces will be posted across the capital and beyond. For those hoping to be the next president, posters are crucial. In the past, campaign images were produced abroad. But the manager of this new printing business in Kabul says times have changed.
One of the reasons we get these contracts is that the work is done here in Kabul and the money is not wasted outside Afghanistan, so the candidates are happy.
The 13 men who work here are also happy.
For small businesses like this in Kabul, the presidential election season is the busiest they've ever experienced. Just getting one candidate as a client means tens of thousands of dollars worth of business, keeping men like this employed.
Posters are only one part of the campaign battle. Winning over influential tribal elders will be a less visible but essential tactic. But this candidate's campaign manager says it all depends on location.
If we go to the rural areas, people do not watch TV. But in the same area, there is a local radio station, and that has more of an effect there. If a farmer is busy on his farm, he has a radio turned on beside him. He is listening to it 8 hours a day.
The current government in Afghanistan was recently ranked in the top 3 most corrupt in the world. Winning the trust of voters here will be tough.
They haven't even bothered to ask the ordinary people. They are only thinking of their own benefits. They campaign for themselves, and if they win, they will live a life of luxury and will not care about us.
The Taliban says it will target anyone having anything to do with the elections. Getting voters to polling stations in dangerous areas will be even harder than campaigning there. Nonetheless, in the coming months, the candidates will try to persuade them that they can change that.